Barack Obama's back to work and facing his next battle, taking on Republican opponents in Congress. They'll need to work together on the budget and improving the economy. That's his main domestic headache. On the foreign affairs front, he has to choose a new Secretary of State and get combat troops out of Afghanistan in just over a year. Let's talk about what's next for Obama with James Boyes, a senior research fellow at King's College London, an expert on US policy. James, good to have you with us. So let's start with the economy then. I mean, one of his first priorities is going to be to get this long-term budget deal, but that's inevitably going to mean more battles with Congress, isn't it?
It will indeed, and good morning. There's no doubt about it that Barack Obama's new problems are only just beginning, and they are very much old problems. For the last 3 years, he's been very much incapable of getting Congress, the Republicans in the House of Representatives, to agree to his spending plans. Quite how he changes things now in his second term will be very interesting to see, because already, I guarantee, the Republicans will be looking ahead to the midterm elections of 2014 and seeing how they can benefit in that round of elections to help propel them to the presidency in their hopes in 2016.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he chooses to play it, because he can either go in all guns blazing with a great big ambitious agenda, or he can start making compromises. And the problem with that is if he compromises too much, then he'll anger elements of his own party.
This is true, and one of the great problems is the lack of compromise that has been occurring over the last 4 years on both sides. To be fair to the president, the Republicans in Congress made it very clear. They said as much, that their one sole priority was to make Barack Obama a one-term president. They've clearly failed in that. The question now is, what do they do to try and work together for the next 4 years? And it'll be a fascinating experience, I think, to see how they go about doing that.
What about foreign policy, James? I mean, Hillary Clinton is going to be a huge loss to Obama when she retires.
Well, she will, but don't worry. I think we'll be seeing an awful lot of Hillary Clinton in the next 4 years. My understanding is she's going to go away and write her second trench of memoirs, this time focusing upon her role as Secretary of State, with a view to potentially running again for the presidency in 4 years' time. She's got, there's some big shoes to fill there, and I think we should be hearing in the next few days about who it is that the president will be looking to promote to be the new Secretary of State.
And again, the same old problems to deal with, Iran, Syria. Does he now have a freer hand to deal with them? Are we going to see tougher policies from him on those fronts?
I believe what you've seen is a traditional attempt to try and cool things during an election year. Certainly the White House has been trying very much to focus upon the election, and I think you've seen things slip potentially and certainly not be dealt with in a stronger manner as you may have seen otherwise. So now this election period is over and we don't have a transfer from one party to another. That will allow the United States, I think, to move on quicker than it could have been perhaps if we were now waiting for a Romney administration to take form. The president can bring together a new cabinet very quickly and get that in place in the next couple of weeks to move forward and address the pressing issues that you rightly talk about. Israel, Iran, the new leadership in China that you were reporting upon, and of course, re-establishing relations with the Kremlin.
James, interesting stuff. Thanks ever so much for joining us. James Boyes there in London.
Thank you.